all about the workshop structures for conversion. So how do you organize your content and put it together in a way that's going to have a really high impact? Your one outcome for this lesson is to outline your high converting workshop content with guidance, not as a script. That's really important. I'm going to give you all of the elements and I'm going to give you the order that they should go in, but you have a little bit more of something and a little bit less of another thing. So just make sure that you are viewing this as a recipe. I'm giving you all of the ingredients and I'm giving you some structure, and you're going to get to make some choice within that to make sure that this is really powerful. It makes sense for your content, it makes sense for you and for your target market. In your opening, you need to include these 9 essential elements. You're going to have connection, name the value, the unique opportunity. There's going to be the outcomes and the offer alert. You're going to share a stay strategy, meaning how you get people to stay until the end. You're going to discuss the pains and desires of your clients. There's going to be a story that you integrate. You're going to request engagement from people, and then you're going to restate the outcomes again before you start to transition into your teaching. So an example, a connection section could sound something like this. I'm thrilled to be here with you today. There's nothing I love more than hanging out with female entrepreneurs. Tell me in the chat one thing you're grateful for today. Notice you're asking them to engage right at the very beginning. Naming the value. Today, you're going to learn the 3 biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs make when it comes to attracting clients. Notice the language that I'm using here is like, wow, this is big, this is important. You really need to know this. The unique opportunity. I'm so excited to share this with you today because no one is talking about it, but it's so important that you know, so you don't become one of the 80% who doesn't make it past year 3. So I'm positioning this as something that is different. No one is talking about it. I've even included in there a kind of mind-blowing statistic that is now going to have people perking up and paying attention. There's going to be an outcomes and offer alert. You'll learn exactly why so many new entrepreneurs call it quits after just 3 years and how to avoid the 3 biggest mistakes so you don't become another statistic. And because I know you'll want to take this learning even deeper, I'll tell you how we can work together towards the end if that's something you're interested in. So here I've told them what they're going to get out of the workshop, and I've been really clear and upfront that an offer is coming. But notice how this is not salesy and not pushy at all. I'm saying, hey, if you're interested in it, cool, stick around. Then your stay strategy. If you stay until the end, you'll be armed with the strategies necessary to not only make it past the 3-year mark, but to thrive. So from the very beginning, I'm trying to help their brains think that something important is going to happen if I stay until the end. Now, if you have a carrot to dangle, if you have a really great freebie or something that you want to offer people to stay until the end, you can certainly do that. But don't offer something just to offer something. You can completely do it just through your language and encouraging people to stay. If you are going to offer a freebie and offer that carrot to dangle, make sure it's something that your people really want. You're going to talk about pains and desires. I know what it's like to be completely lost trying to get clients. I remember feeling like I would never get the hang of it, but now I get to work with soulmate clients every single day. So notice I'm naming the pain, feeling completely lost, and I'm being empathetic. I'm saying, hey, remember what that feels like. I'm also in here showing how I have authority on this because I've been in that same position myself, but I've come out of that position and now I've made it through that transition and that transformation. So there are a lot of things that are happening here in just a couple of sentences that I'm using. There needs to be time for a story. When I first started out, I was told I had to spend all of my time on social media to get clients. And I would go into how I spent all my time doing all of these things that weren't getting results and just talk about that pain and that frustration that I experienced. I'm going to request engagement. I'm going to say, have you ever heard that the only way to be successful is to spend all of your time on social media too? And of course, participants are going to chime in. They're going to say, yeah, absolutely. I just heard this earlier this morning. Then I'm going to restate the outcomes. This is why you're going to love today's workshop, because you'll learn exactly why spending all of your time on social media is one of the worst things you can do to grow a profitable, joyful business and what to do instead. So I'm telling them exactly what it is that they're going to get, and I'm saying it just a little bit differently than I said it the first time. Again, I'm using really compelling language. I'm saying that these are the worst things that you don't want to do, and I'm saying I'm going to teach you what to do instead. So then we get into teaching. Remember, you can teach concepts. So if you're going to teach concepts, you're going to first introduce the concept. You're then going to talk about why it matters. Why should they be listening to you? You're going to tell a story or use a metaphor. You're going to share evidence to illustrate that concept. You're going to prime your offer. So you're just continuously dropping hints and nuggets and relating it back to your offer. And then there's going to be an opportunity for you to ask a question of them and ask them to make a decision. Because remember, we want 5 to 7 little micro decisions all throughout the presentation, preparing them to make that final decision to work with you. Concept introduction. All social media efforts must drive to one clear offer. Remember that your concepts should be about 3 to 9 words. They should be really succinct, really clear, and really direct. Why it matters. This is important because if you provide a hodgepodge of incongruent material, potential clients won't know how to take action and will be confused about what you do. Story and metaphor. When I first started my business, I thought that posting on social media every day was key to getting clients. So I was always coming up with something new to talk about. What I learned was, and I would tell that story. Then question and decision. On a scale of 1 to 10, how clear are you on your goals for your social media strategy? So I'm creating engagement and I'm asking them a question. If you were clear and made sure everything you posted was driving to one clear offer, what would that do for your business? Now look, I'm increasing the intensity here from just tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 to having them think about what that transformation would do for them and their business. Now I'm going to have a micro decision. Tell me in the chat, how committed are you to creating a simple, easy to implement social media strategy with measurable results? They're having to decide, how committed am I to doing this? You can also teach through mistakes. You can share a common mistake, the symptoms from this mistake, the story about the impact of the mistake. You're going to speak truth about that mistake. In other words, you're going to highlight what's really going on. And then again, question and decision. Common mistake. Most new business owners don't have a cohesive strategy for social media. Symptoms. You waste tons of time producing content that doesn't convert into sales. This creates frustration and fuels self-doubt. The story about the impact. When I started my business, I mistakenly thought this too. I spent hours upon hours trying to crack the code on social media, but it never turned into clients. I could also here bring in a story about a client. I could use them as a case study. Speaking truth. Successful business owners know the few key client attraction activities that work for them and their niche and stick with these. Avoiding social media fatigue. Boom. I'm like dropping a truth bomb on people here. Question and decision. Who here feels like you're missing a clear, easy to follow strategy for attracting clients that doesn't require hours on social media each week? They're going to start raising their hand and saying, me, that's me. Then I'm going to say, are you ready to take action today, getting an easy to follow action plan in place? There's the decision piece. Now, with your concept structure and your mistake structure, you're going to pick. Are you going to do mostly concepts? Are you going to do mistakes? Are you going to do a mix of both? That's why I'm saying this isn't a script, but this is a template and a guide. Because depending on your outcomes and the content you're going to teach, you're going to have to decide how many concepts you're teaching, how many mistakes you're teaching, and the mix and the order that you want them to happen in. Then we have your closing structure. This is going to include a smooth transition to your offer. You're going to review and revisit problems. You're going to affirm their intentions. There's going to be a bit of a push and pull. So that's about pushing the wrong clients away and pulling the right clients towards you. There's going to be an offer promise. So what are they going to get if they sign up for this offer? The value proposition, why there's so much value in it, why it matters. You're going to include some testimonials. You're going to tell them the cost. You're going to share fast action bonuses if you have some. There's going to be a very clear call to action where you say, this is exactly what to do right now in this moment. And then you're going to be there live for some question and answers. So smooth transition. As I said at the start, I will be sharing with you the next steps you can take to deepen your understanding about X topic and ways you can implement these ideas in your life going forward. If you're interested in learning about that, stick around and I'll tell you about it. Look, it's super smooth, it's easy, there's nothing salesy. Again, you're giving people the option to opt out. You're saying, if you're interested, stick around. If people aren't interested, they have free will and they can leave. You're going to review and revisit problems. Today, we covered X, Y, and Z, and we discussed the problems you're probably dealing with right now. Affirm intentions. I know you don't want this to be just another workshop you attended and that you want to implement real change, which is why I would like to tell you about how we could work together to support that change for you. Nobody signs up for a workshop thinking that they just want it to be a waste of time. They obviously want to get something out of it, and that's what you're doing here when you're affirming their intentions. You're reminding them that they had a drive and a motivation to show up, and it's because they want things to change. Push and pull. Before I share the special offer I have for you, I want to be upfront. This is for you if you're ready to show up every day and do the work. So here you're trying to name the kind of client you're looking for. You can also say something like, this isn't going to work if you're hoping someone else is going to solve your problems. Now you're going to have different language, but what you're trying to do here is name the kind of client you don't want to attract. So what you don't want are people who think that you're going to solve all their problems and they're not going to be ready and willing to go all in and do the work themselves. Offer promise. If you're super ready to do X, Y, and Z, I would love to invite you to join me in title of your offer. I created this to help you make sure that you name the desired outcomes. So here in the offer promise, you're just kind of contrasting, if you're ready to overcome these things and get this desired result, that's what this offer is going to do for you. Value proposition. This is a super sweet deal because if you were to secure this support separately, now you're thinking here about different doctors they could go to, self-help books they could read, other programs or providers they could use. You would easily spend way more time and money to solve your problem. But I've structured this in a way that you don't have to do that at all, and you'll get results faster than you can imagine. So of course, you'll be inserting what's relevant for your people here, but there's always all of these different methods that people can try or have tried that haven't worked, and they've taken a really long time to get maybe a little bit of a result and a lot of money. So what you want to do here is highlight that they're going to get results faster. It's not that there aren't other options for getting results, but working with you in the supportive container you provide is going to get them results way faster. Everybody wants fast results. Then you're going to have some testimonials. So when Nicole first came to us, and you can describe the struggle that she had. Then you're going to read the testimonial. You're only going to use 2 to 3 testimonials while you are priming here, explaining your offer. Keep them short and focused on problems related to the offer. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody share like a page-long testimonial and 90% of it has nothing to do with the offer. Now, if you don't have offer-specific testimonials, that's fine. Use testimonials that are just about how amazing and awesome you are. But use bold-faced font on those slides to show the most important points. A lot of times their eyes are going to just be drawn to the bold-faced font, so you get to call out in the testimonials what you think is most important. And you have to share the cost. So you say through X date, you'll only pay whatever the amount is. So whenever you have an offer, we call it cart open and cart close. When you do your workshop, your cart is open. You have to decide when you're going to close your cart. You can't give people a never-ending amount of time for them to work with you. Then you're going to have fast action bonuses. And if you take action by midnight, you'll only pay X amount of dollars. So your goal should always be to get as many sales live on that workshop as you possibly can. And the way to do that is to incentivize people to take action, because solidified clients, people that have taken action right there during the workshop, they're excited. They're going to be good clients to work with because they're ready to do the work. They're like, heck yes, this sounds great. That's money in the bank. You've already got some sales. So do what you can to incentivize people to close quickly. Your call to action, just click the link in the chat box to sign up now. As soon as you register, you'll receive an email with detailed instructions and on and on. And you explain exactly what they should anticipate is going to happen. Then you're going to do your question and answer. I want to make sure you have a chance to get all of your questions asked and answered. So I'm going to open up the floor to your questions. Now you can take your questions from the chat box. You can have them use audio so that everybody can hear their questions, or video depending on your technology setup. If you're going to take questions out of the chat box, just make sure that you're reading the questions out loud so everybody knows what question you are referring to. So it is your turn to take action. Outline your content for your workshop using this guidance. Remember, this is not a script and not meant to be formulaic. Just make sure you include all component parts. I don't know about you, but I've been watching live online workshops long enough to know when somebody's following a formula, and it's so predictable. I always know when they're going to say, who this workshop is for is this person. Who this workshop is not for is that person. And I can tell you exactly what they're going to talk about on the next slide. But you are better than that. You are more creative than that, and you are more influential and powerful than that. So use this as guidance, but not as a script. Have some fun with it. Really make it your own. As long as you make sure that all of the essential component parts are there, it's going to be phenomenal. So use the workshop content planning template for support. And as always, we are here to support you along the way.